All right, let's answer your question and give you some good news.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say that.
I'm on her side, and I don't know exactly what her side is.
I think you're totally spot on with that.
I sound inept just to help you out.
It's been a rough week, thanks to your advice.
Are you a regular listener to this program?
As much as I can be.
There's your problem.
I would not ever disagree with you because you're so smart. You have a lot of answers to a lot of things.
You don't want to listen to me on the radio.
So what do I do?
I can't give you any direction.
Thank you for empowering me. I needed that.
I'm losing you, buddy. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Well, do you know somebody who does?
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
The man is not honest, at least this time. I am still in the studio of WMET 1160 AM, Guadalupe Radio affiliate. What a network that is. Delightful people, professional people, spreading all kinds of good stuff. They say there's a little bit of a dead hour, 1 to 2 Eastern, 12 to 1 Pacific, or Central, but hey, I'll try to do my best. Looking out at the Capitol building right there. Kind of grateful that I can get on a plane next week, go to San Antonio, Legatus, and head out to El Centro Friday of next week for a great benefit dinner for the folks out there near San Diego. Last night, I want to thank all the people who showed up for our taping of Living Right with Dr. Ray, season number 15, episodes, 9 and 10. First show, we had a lot of grown-ups coming in, probably from the MET advertising. But then the second show, they just busted the seams of that studio with the kids. And I found out it wasn't because they loved me, because they were all getting extra credit. And they had a very favorite professor there, John Javowski. Great stuff with him and his wife, Claire. So tonight we're doing it again. We're at O'Connell Hall. And you just go right in there if you want to come. We have plenty of room. They got a big, big setup there. Just walk right in, first floor, Heritage Hall in O'Connell Hall. Parking is available. You go to drray.com, my website, drray.com, and you can click on the link that'll take you to the Catholic University of America's website, which will give you the details regarding times, 5:30, 7:15 tonight, and parking. We'd love to have you. We got a couple of really neat bits planned tonight, as well as some really powerful guests. We've got Bear Wozniak, good buddy of mine. Bear's in town. He's got a great book coming out, too, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? And we will also have a professor and the head of the counseling service here at the Catholic University of America talking about what's going on with these young people and all of their struggles with depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation. Going to talk about some of the causes, what to look for, and how to remedy at our best. Now to the program. 877-573-7825. 877-57-EQUAL if you would like to call in. All I have to do is say the lines are open and people call in because, well, there's a certain reluctance to call in if they think they're going to have to wait too long. And we'll get to you as quick as we can. 877-57-EQUAL. Situations in your life, people in your life, circumstances in your life, befuddlement in your life, sadness in your life, question marks in your life, the stuff of life. I'm a psychologist. Particular type is clinical. The guys, the girls who, I can't say girls. I'm such a throwback linguistically. The men and women who do the testing, do the therapy, particularly trained for that kind of stuff. Oh, you got your GIF up there, you guys. You found it. But he's not stirring anything. So the number to get onto the program is 877-57-EQUAL. Over the years, I have read or heard some expert or experts. You know, experts used to be the parents. Did you notice that? In the last 40, 50 years, the people with letters after their names became the experts, self-anointed, self-proclaimed experts. Used to be parents. Anyway, I've heard child rearing specialists attack pretty much every piece of consequence that a parent could turn to. Let me give you a list. Writing. No. You're not to make a child write, whether it's an essay or sentences. You can't do that. You'll turn them off toward writing. They'll hate the English language, and they just won't write. It's awful and terrible. Now, I've done monologues on that before and just tore that to the ground, how irrational that one is, because any writer will tell you to get good at writing, you have to practice. And sometimes to practice, you have to be made to practice. Well, here's another one. Time out. Oh, Dr. Ray, please, come on. Nobody is going to assault time out. Oh, yeah? I read a high-profile article with this high-profile child professor specialist who said, sitting a child in a chair is a humiliating experience. Yeah, that's what she said. I'm sitting in a chair right now. I like it here. It's comfortable. Get a load off my feet. How about this one? I've heard this one many times. Never send a child to her room for punishment. Rooms are private places, solitary places, to be associated with warm feelings. I don't know, do you like your bed? I would think so. Sleep. I got sent to my room a couple thousand times a year when I was a kid. Whatever bad feelings I developed, I overcame as I got older, and I like my bedroom and bed now. Yeah, that's how. I heard this one. I heard a high-profile, nationally syndicated person say, do not fine a child, money-wise, from their allowance by not doing their chores. No, an allowance is a commitment. And you're going back on your commitment. You're betraying trust. And, of course, I don't want to get into spanking, but that 92.67% of experts think you just are a vile human being if you swat at the bottom, even though there is no research that says in a loving home, done under control by loving parents, occasional spank does anything that they accuse it of doing. That's another monologue, but don't argue with me on that one because that is what the research says. It's not what Dr. Guarendi says. What else? Don't use a corner. Oh, no. A corner is social isolation and shaming. You do not use a corner. You do not force a child to say, I'm sorry. That's compulsion. And without proper remorse, without the right feelings, those are empty words. Don't make a child go to church if she doesn't want to go to church. No, you're just forcing some kind of religious practice upon her. And we all know that when she's 23, she'll tell you, I don't go to church anymore because you made me go to church. By the way, that reason's not even in the top 10 of reasons kids don't go to church, but that's in the top 3 of the ones they throw at you, that's for sure. What can you do? What are you allowed to do anymore, according to the experts? Natural consequences. If he leaves his bike outside in the rain and it's damaged or rusted, the natural consequence is he doesn't have a bike. Yeah, well, that's a pretty heavy natural consequence for a little bit of irresponsible behavior because are you going to replace that bike? The bike was expensive. Furthermore, would you want him not to have a bike for the next 9 years because he left it out in the rain? Would it be better to put some kind of other consequence on it that's much more focal, much more time limited? So what do I say to all this? In a previous book, and it's going to be re-released sometime soon here through EWTN, the title of it, we're going to change the title, but it was Advice Worth Ignoring. And I talked about all these experts who say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't talk this way, you can't talk that way, you can't use use messages, you have to use iMessages. You know, in a way, I'm really glad I'm a shrink, because in raising my children, it helped me. Oh, not because I'm so psychologically correct, but because I wasn't bullied by all these nonsense notions that are thrown at poor parents and making them question themselves left and right because you can't do anything anymore because it all has some kind of untoward psychological effect. And you're not going to know it's there until the kid's on national TV on a reality show sometime 12 years from now talking about you and the time you sent him to his room for punishment and made him write an essay while he was there and made him say I'm sorry to his sister at the same time. You reprobate. 877-573. Oh, that's redundant, Genevieve. 3-year-old girl with attitude. You're repeating yourself. 877-573-7825 is the number to call to get onto the program. 877-57-EQUAL. I'm Dr. Ray.
Looking for a more peaceful family by Christmas? Join Dr. Greg and Lisa Popchak for a free live webinar, Have a More Peaceful Family by Christmas. It's Thursday, November 13th from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Discover practical ways to reclaim Advent with purpose, prayer, and joy. Don't let Advent slip by in stress and distraction. Join the Popchaks and turn this season into a sacred success story. Register now at AveMariaRadio.net and make this Advent your most intentional yet.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference this holiday by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Our billboards and ads feature our 800 hotline for help, which connects people to pro-life centers nationwide that can assist with free medical help, baby supplies, and more. Won't you join us in this season of giving? Please make a gift today. Visit ProLifeAcrossAmerica.org. That's ProLifeAcrossAmerica.org.
Life's uncertainties can arise without warning. And without a clear legal plan, your wishes may go unfulfilled. Through our partnership with MyCatholicWill.com/AVE, you can designate guardians for your children and allocate your assets to the individuals and causes you hold dear. Create your will at no cost from the privacy of your home. This Thanksgiving, take time to prioritize your family's peace of mind. MyCatholicWill.com/AVE.
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866-AVE-MARIA or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
I'm looking through this window here in the WMET studios, and I can see the Capitol Dome, as well as a whole bunch of government buildings. I don't know what they all are, but they're just stacked one upon another next to each other. And I realized I got a book that could help these people. You know, in government, most recent book, How to Get Along with Almost Everybody. Maybe I ought to just drop one off over there or something on the Capitol steps or something. Bob from Boston, New York, has a comment because Ann yesterday was really frustrated. She was 56 years old, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And her mom just wouldn't apologize. And her mom was doing a whole bunch of bad stuff over the years, and Ann just beats herself up wanting an apology from Mom. And you got an observation on that, Bob.
Absolutely, Doc. Thanks for taking me. I hope sir. Ann is listening. As soon as she started describing her situation, I knew exactly what she was talking about. I'm half Polish. My wife is all Polish. And I can tell you, it's culturally built in on the Polish side of the family. There is a distinct pecking order. And I could tell you that if Ann had been born first and had 4 sisters after her, she would have been treated like a princess. And if the next kid was a boy, well, too bad for her, because the sun rises and sets on the firstborn son. My father was a middle child, and everything went to the elder brother, and he was who would get the music lessons, college education, where my father was expected to quit high school and work in the family business. It's just the way that it's just built in culturally.
Well, you're tapping into something for me, Bob.
Well,
I'm Italian. I'm 100%
you hadn't been
Italian.
Exposed to it.
Yes,
I could tell by your.
absolutely.
I'm sorry.
I was growing up, and I watched some of my Italian relatives not speak to other relatives for years at a time because there was some offense, usually trivial, that they just decided unless that person apologizes, that's it. This relationship's over. And I was stunned at that. The other thing that touches what you just said, I was the oldest grandchild, the firstborn grandson. The sun rose and set in my backside.
You got it.
And as I got older and I saw this, I didn't like it. I'd go to my grandma's house and I'd be the first one served. I'd be the one who got the extra helpings. I'd be the one who got the pop first. I didn't like it. I would pass it off to my siblings, and then I'd get scolded for doing that. But you're absolutely right. There is that kind of pecking order in some of these, especially from the families that came from Europe in the first generation.
So what I'm saying is that for her mother doesn't see her that she did anything wrong, because put it this way, my late mother-in-law was the youngest in her family, and she was expected to be her mother's servant. And some of what I would define as cruel behavior, she did. The grandmother didn't see it that way. To her, this was normal. But like I said, there was a very distinct order where you were born, and like I said, and if you were the firstborn son, oh my gosh, you could do no wrong.
Well, wait a minute. I'm going to interrupt you there. I like to think that I'm the firstborn grandson because I was such a wonderful human being. Not because...
Well, there are exceptions to the rule, Doc.
Thank you. Thank you. You're kind of implying that I just fell into that position. I like to think that I earned it through character that was rather on the elite side. I don't know.
What I'm saying is that because I lived in the culture, you would see firstborn sons that really weren't of sterling character, but in their mother's eyes, they could do no wrong.
Well, I mean, what if I didn't do any wrong?
Well, then I believe you. You're a walking saint.
Just ask my grandmother.
Absolutely.
Jeez. What you say, I think, has a grain of truth to it. It really does. And it's not a matter of we're culturally insensitive. It's a matter of there are certain, if you will, ethnic traits that are more likely to be within certain cultures and national status that happens. And I think the Polish and the Italians are pretty close.
All right. I will leave you in peace. Have a wonderful holiday season. I hope you enjoyed your time when you're up here in Buffalo.
Well, I will say this. I'd like to think I'm one of the younger Catholic radio hosts, although that's not true. And I hate to think it's because I'm one of the older Catholic radio hosts that I get some respect. I'd like to think it's because of competence. I have not. Now, I'm going to get a text from my boss, Jack Williams, or Tom Price, saying, just shut up where you're at it, Ray.
Yeah, don't break your arm patting yourself on the back.
Yeah, ow. Okay. Thanks, Bob.
All right,
I'll
take
talk
care,
to you.
my friend.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Bye. Genevieve, what a beautiful name. Genevieve. I wish I knew what that meant. Hi, Genevieve.
Hi, Dr. Ray. Can you hear me?
What does Genevieve mean?
What does my name mean?
Yeah, what does your name mean?
On the internet, I looked it up and it said white wave at one point.
White wave? Is that referring to your hair? No, okay.
Well, I am blonde.
Well, you have, you're, as I said earlier, you are being redundant here, Genevieve. 3-year-old girl attitude. You look in the thesaurus, and it lists those right there as synonyms. What does she do that you think she has attitude?
Well, so there are times I will say to her, okay, get off the couch, don't jump on the couch because you're going to fall and hit your head and she's not being safe. And then she'll just laugh at me and be like, no. Or just basic defiance. I feel like I have to fight defiance with her 24/7. Granted, I know that she's still 3, but it feels like, I don't know if it's a matter with me or it's just I'm not disciplining her enough. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here.
Well, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think your perception is wrong. You think, unfortunately, and I don't know how this kind of attitude has diffused itself into the mindset of younger parents, but you think that because you say something, your daughter is going to be agreeable. But she wants to do what she wants to do. And if she wants to jump on that couch and you say, don't jump on that couch, she either laughs at you because, Mom, you're being ridiculous and I don't agree, or I'll defy you. And what are you going to do about it? I think here's the way you teach a child to listen. And parents always say this. He doesn't listen. He just doesn't listen. 90% of the time that they say that, what they're telling me is they don't follow through. They don't teach the child to listen. For example, your daughter's jumping on the couch, right? And you tell her, don't. Honey, don't jump on the couch. And she looks at you like, you talking to me? I can see your lips moving, but I don't hear any sound coming out. I think you must be talking to the couch because you ain't talking to me. All right. At that point, she goes straight to the corner. Now, in the future, when she jumps on the couch, you don't say, hey, I told you no jumping on the couch. No, you already have a house rule, no jumping on the couch. So the next time she jumps on the couch, she just goes straight to the corner. I guarantee you the couch jumping will stop within 5 corner visits. But here's your problem. 2 weeks from now, she'll do it again. Okay. Because that's what they do. They're 3. They want to do what they want to do. And you're going to have to teach them through saying, I'm asking you to do this or to not do this. If you choose to ignore me or defy me, which you will because you're a kid, I have to do something about it. I have to show you there's a consequence for this. I don't want to scream at you. I don't want to tell you 27 times. I don't want to sit here and argue with a 3-year-old, although I do. I just mean what I say. You do that, and what we will do is you'll still have a 3-year-old. You'll still have a girl. But you will take care of about 80% of the attitude until she's 13.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's going to work.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Dr. Ray.
You're welcome, honey. Call back. Hey, call back. And I was going to say call back to tell me how it's gone. No. Call back to tell me how smart I was. That's what I
definitely will.
All right. Thanks, Genevieve. Oh, by the way, it means, Andrew looked it up, it means woman of the family. See that? I knew it was classier than that. I knew it was classier than tsunami wave or whatever you said it was.
Yeah. Well,
Genevieve,
I do like that definition better.
Yeah. Do you know what I say? Genevieve means tornado-forced tsunami. No, that's your 3-year-old daughter. All right. Thanks for calling, honey. I'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. We're going to get to your calls, so those of you who are there, be patient. I'm coming. 877-57-EQUAL is the number. Heading towards the bottom of the program. Not the depths, the bottom. And we always have time. Remember, when you call in, you have an equal chance of getting on the air because the caller queue, how do you pronounce that? Depends upon many factors. It depends upon when you called in. That's a factor. I don't want to keep people waiting too long. Depends upon the particular question or comment. It depends upon whether we've dealt with that 2 days ago or somebody came in with something similar. It depends on a whole lot of things. It depends on whether you wake Eric Dumont up there in the studio, if he gets to the phone. All kinds of things. All right, so that music's going to start. There it is. I knew it. 877-57-EQUAL. Would very much want to hear from you. This is Dr. Ray. Thank you. Be upset listening to country music. Just can't be. our favorite country song. You can feel bad if it makes you feel better. Some people are just happy being miserable. Dr. Ray Guarendi, thanks for joining me here on the Doctor's In studio, WMET. 1160 here in the Washington, D.C. area. As I said earlier, I'm going to make a bigger push for tonight. If you can make it, we'd love to have you. The audience is energetic. That's what makes the program. Living Right with Dr. Ray is being taped on the Catholic University of America campus. We are at the O'Connell Building. Very easy to find. If you'd like to be in the audience for one or both of the shows tonight, 5:30, 7:15. We've got some great guests. We're going to talk about suicide. We've got Bear Wozniak coming in. Great guy. I do surfing along with Bear, but I need training wheels on my surfboard. And I really don't go much beyond the beach. I just kind of stand on the beach, try to look cool. But if you'd like to, go to drray.com to sign up, because that'll take you over to a link. The link will take you over to the website of the Catholic University of America, and they'll have it right there, smack in there, on how you can sign right up. Be wonderful to have you there. All right, poor Jennifer. She's been dealing with something for a long time, and she still gets upset over it. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
All right, what's Mom doing here?
When I was growing up, I felt like everything I do was wrong. Because then, when I got older, I was dating this guy, which we got engaged and all that. Well, he died, and she was telling me it's all my fault he died and all this. Well, I had to go talk to a preacher because I felt like she was blaming me and stuff.
So you don't want her. You don't want her to do that, right, Jennifer?
Right. So
but she does it anyway.
To her. So I tried to talk to her and tell her that how was I there when he died, because I didn't tell him to kill himself. I didn't tell him to, do anything. And but it seems like everything here, I'm a grown up, and it's everything I do is wrong. And because I know
all right, let's stop right there. Let's stop. What we know is your mother blames you for a lot of things, and she doesn't like the way you do a lot of things. Correctly? Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Now, how long has she been doing that?
Probably. I think the last I remember was probably when I was in my 20s. Everything was my fault, or... Okay, and how many years ago was that?
And,
let's see, I'm probably about 20-some years.
All right, so you are still upsetting yourself over the fact that your mom has all kinds of opinions about where you fall short and how you're deficient in your behavior or your attitude or running your life, whatever it is. You're still upsetting yourself because you're telling yourself she shouldn't do that, right? My mother should not do that to me, correct?
Right.
And you've told her, you've said, Mom, wasn't my fault. Mom, why do you do that? Mom, please don't do that.
Right.
Mom, you hurt my feelings. You have done this countless times?
A few times, and then she just yells at me, and then...
Right. She doesn't want to hear it because she thinks she's right and you're wrong.
Right.
Do you think that you can get to the point where your mind says, that's my mother, that's how she talks, that's how she thinks. I don't think she's right, but I can't convince her. So I am not going to respond to her when she blames me. I'm not going to argue with her. Do you think you can do that?
I can try.
Because
I might have to remind myself over and over.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what we all have to do, is to remind ourselves over and over. This is not working. This is only making it worse, and it's only making me unhappy. Because this person in my life, who is my mother, that I would think would be a little softer toward me, is not. And I can't stop it. I cannot stop it. The only thing I can do is to remind myself, as you said, dear, over and over, not to let it get to me.
That's my mom, and
that's all you got to do. Let her spout and just stare at her. Don't say a word.
Okay.
Just stare at her as if you're saying, on your face is saying, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" That's all your face is saying. You can do that.
Okay.
Remember, dear, you can't control what somebody else is going to say. And you can try to stop them, you can try to correct them, you can try to reason with them, but if it doesn't work, then you got to realize you're the only one left to bring peace to you.
Right. Okay.
That's it, sweetheart.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. God bless you. The number one issue in personal... I shouldn't say issue. That's real psychobabble. The only issue I know is modern tank repair. The number one frustration, question mark, upset, is when someone has a certain verbal pattern toward us. Be it critical, be it put-downs, be it snarky, be it opinionated, be it oblivious, be it thoughtless, whatever, negative toward us, and it's repeated. And, of course, we've tried in our own way to do something about it, talked about it, brought it up, expressed our thoughts and feelings, and either got nowhere or got 2% of the way there. What is left? What is left is to realize that is how it is. Well, that person's a spouse, that person's a mother, that person's an adult child, that's a person that should show love, that's a person that should be nice, that's a person that should in every way try to treat me better. Yes, absolutely right. There's a problem, though. They don't. What do you do when they don't? And you can't make them not. It's up to you. I can't flip a switch, turn my feelings off. No, you can't. But Jennifer put it well. She said, I'm going to have to keep reminding myself. Yes, you are. You're going to have to talk to yourself. 877, or else talk to me, 877-57-EQUAL. All right, now it's the bottom of the program. It's kind of quiet. So you call in, we'll get to you. 877-57-EQUAL. I'm Dr. Ray. Guarendi here. Thank you for joining me on The Doctor Is In. Again, broadcasting from WMET. Imagine that stands for Metropolitan, I would think. I was wondering. Here in Washington, D.C. It's an affiliate of the Guadalupe Radio Network. Big 40-some stations. That's a big network. Before we go to your calls, I just want to make one more comment. Rather than a linear relationship, when you have someone who chronically bothers you with the things they say, you need to have an inverse relationship. Inverse linear relationship. What are you talking about, Dr. Ray? Well, it's the only stuff I remember from my 1 year in engineering in school. A linear relationship means the more it happens, the more you get upset. An inverse should be the more it happens, the less you get upset. Because you are aware that this is the way this person is. This is what has been happening, what is happening, and what probably will happen. Because they don't want to change. They don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. The only option you have left after trying to get them to slow down in these remarks or opinions or whatever it is that bothers you is to turn to yourself and say, why am I still upset knowing this is the way this person is? This is what they do. Inverse linear relationship. Mike, calling from Melbourne, Florida. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Dr. Ray. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Just real quick, my 9-year-old son entered 3rd grade in public school for the first time. He was at Catholic school last year. After roughly 60 days of this first year at public school, the teacher informed his mother, who is my ex-wife, that he's struggling a little bit in school. And after suggesting a healthcare visit, the immediate protocol that was presented to me was a 504 plan and almost immediate prescribed medication. And I'm sort of the thinking, after getting a few opinions, that a natural process first kind of exhausts some other opportunities, including practice, extra study, tutoring, etc., would be a better route. And I just wanted to get your take on it, as we do have a sort of hitting a wall with our different perspectives and in a 50-50 decision-making situation.
Who and how decided that this young man should be on meds?
It was a conversation between the teacher and his mother, which then turned into a visit. Correct. Yeah. Well, that turned into a visit with a nurse practitioner, and about a matter of a week, medication was suggested. So I thought that was very fast.
It is. It is. I'm not going to question their diagnosis because I don't know your son. I don't know the context. But to make an accurate, or to make it more likely you'll get an accurate diagnosis, you got to do a history. And interestingly enough, how long you been divorced?
It's only been about 2.5 years. It's a new situation for everybody.
There are probably differences in parenting style.
Correct.
Yes. I see it all the time. Prior to this, when your son was in the 2nd and 1st grade, did anybody bring this up?
No.
Uh-huh. See, ADD or ADHD, and again, what are they saying? Are they saying that he's impulsive and a bit of a behavior problem, or are they saying he's distractible and spacey?
Not at all. Simply struggling academically. Just struggling with English, struggling with math, yet he does tremendous. He can sit down, beat adults at board games. He hikes the ball on hut 3, hut 5. He doesn't jump over offsides. I mean, he's to me, a very normal child.
I would suggest, Mike, if you can, you bring your son to a very reliable psychologist. Describe the situation. Let the psychologist explore the history here, the differences in parenting style, what prompted a teacher to say, well, he's struggling. Because he could be struggling because of learning problems, or he could be struggling because it doesn't come easy to him. He doesn't have necessarily learning problems, but it's not easy to him. Or he could be struggling because the workload increased in the 3rd grade. He could be struggling for a whole lot of reasons. Interestingly enough, too, I think they could find out how Mom is describing him. I got a feeling, you tell me if my feeling is correct, that your ex-wife would describe your son very differently than you do.
I would agree with that, and not to throw a bunch of irony in here, but after 14 years of marriage, it was actually a late-in-life, quote-unquote, ADHD and aggressive Adderall medication that the wife took, and to which 18 months later we were divorced. So I have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth about these medications, and there's very much an affinity from that end to go right into it.
You're talking to a guy, and I think I got research backing me up on this, that ADHD and ADD is horrifically overdiagnosed. Now, there are those experts who say, no, it's underdiagnosed. No, there are many more children who struggle with this, and we don't recognize it. Well, in a lot of ways, it depends how you define it. But I see situations where a teacher says, well, I think he's struggling. Seems to be some attention problems here. And then if you have a parent who comes in and says, yeah, I got problems with him at home, boy. I do. He's impulsive, or he can't focus, or I tell him something and he just seems to space out, or he ignores me, or whatever it is. And then you go to a person, in this case, for what you said, it sounded like a nurse practitioner, who I suspect probably didn't do a nice 2-hour history and find out other factors that could be involved here, or to explore the differences between you and your wife, or to rule out other situations, or to say, why didn't this occur in first and second grade? Because if it is attention problems, it should have shown up. It's a developmental problem. So all of these are factors, and I think that if you go to a professional, somebody that you can trust, that will look at all of this and say, there's other dynamics here. This isn't automatically something's wrong with the kid. And you have to ask the question of how much does your ex-wife let him on devices? If he's on computers, or if he's occupying his time with fast-moving video cocaine devices, well, yeah, by comparison, school's going to be pretty boring. It's going to be awful. It's going to be terrible. I just don't like this. I don't get it. I don't want to do it. I'm a little boy, but I can play the computer games. I'm really good at those. So, yeah, all this kicks in. And here's the other thing. Who observed him in the classroom? See, that's one of the arguments I have against family practitioners and pediatricians who make this diagnosis. They don't go to the classroom. They don't observe the kid. They take it from self-report from a parent. And that can be very questionable. Or what they probably did, Mike, is they gave your wife a survey to fill out. And she filled it out. And they scored it. And they said, yeah, look at that. Oh, my gosh, yes, he's way up in the attentional problem issue. Yeah, but there's questions regarding those surveys. So, there you go. Just a little primer on some of the factors that could be involved. You got to get somebody involved. You're probably not going to convince them. My experience has been, if you got a parent who has discipline problem with a kid, they are much more likely to look at something that's wrong with the kid as opposed to whatever could be wrong with their parenting.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great advice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mike. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. This is Dr. Ray.
Certainly there are people who are fond of you. There are those who admire you, who respect you, who slap you on the back and say, keep up the good work. When all's said and done, though, how many people love you? How many have a simple delight in your presence? How many back doors can you enter without knocking, without giving advance notice? In the halls of the school where I teach, I often hear the young calling to each other, love you too. And I smile, because I know very few of those relationships will survive beyond high school. No, love, the real thing, is a rarity, and the faster our world moves, the fewer are those capable of it. There's one person, though, that has a natural capacity to love, one whose eyes illuminate when he sees the beloved, one who simply wants to be close. This person is a child. In a world already so harsh, why then do we kill love every day by the thousands? GuadalupeWorkers.org.
What are the 3 parables Jesus tells about prayer in St. Luke's Gospel? The first is what the Catechism calls the importunate friend. This is the friend who wakes a pal at midnight in order to borrow 3 loaves of bread to feed a visitor. The second parable the Catechism labels the importunate widow, who persistently pleads for her rights from a reluctant judge till the wearied judge rules in her favor. This parable illustrates the need to pray always and with the patience of faith. Jesus closes this parable with the poignant question, when the Son of Man comes, will he find any faith on the earth? The third parable centers on the Pharisee and the tax collector, commending the tax collector for his humility because he asked God to be merciful to me, a sinner, a prayer which the Church adopts as its own. This is Peggy Stanton, and this has been the Order of Malta's Minute with the Catechism.
One last invite to the Catholic University of America, in collaboration with WMET here in D.C. I assume you know I'm talking about Washington, D.C., as we are taping the last 2 seasons episodes, 2 season 15 episodes of Living Right with Dr. Ray over at the Catholic University of America, O'Connell Hall. If you'd like to be part of the audience, we got 2 more shows, and then it'll be some time before we start season 16, God willing. Tonight at 5:30, 7:15. Sure love to have you in the audience. We got some fun things planned and some great, great guests. And a marginal host. Nevertheless, if you come and you're one of those big homeschooling families, you can bring your 9 kids, you'll fill up our audience. We like kids being there, for surely like kids being there. So if you go to drray.com, drray.com, that's my website, right there at the front. My son put that up. Take you straight over to the Catholic University of America's website and the sign-up sheet and how you do it. 5:30 show, 7:15 show, or both if you wish, and we feed you in between. So if you got kids, it's worth your time. Love to have you in the audience. ADHD has been glommed onto, in my opinion. And I'm not saying it's not legit. I'm not saying there aren't kids that are on the tail end of the temperamental continuum who have struggles with impulse, who have struggles with attention. Yes, that's there. Unfortunately, what happens is that a lot of the time when the kid is a behavior problem, we point to something that is deficient in the child. Research says that the number one factor in a kid being a behavior problem is parenting. It's discipline. It's stability. And it's not unusual when you have a divorce situation like Mike's. He didn't come out and say this, but he agreed when I said it. Very different parenting styles. You got a 50-50 parenting arrangement. Very different parenting styles. So the child not only doesn't have the stability of a family mom and dad, but now he bounces from house to house, and who knows the differences and how they manifest themselves in the child's conduct or his approach. Well, Dr. Ray, come on, he's struggling in school. The teacher should know if he's getting the material or not. And that could be. We don't know exactly what might be involved. I'd like to see a good intellectual assessment of this child to see if there is a decent enough IQ and there isn't a gap between his achievement levels and his IQ. And if not, then you might be able to safely assume that something else is going on. What is it? I get a lot of folks in my office who want to know if their child is ADHD or has ADHD or manifests ADHD. And I say, let's talk. I get a picture, And then we do some tweaking or sometimes wholesale changes to their parenting approach. And more often than not, they come back and they'll say, he's a lot better. He's very different. Since we implemented this approach at school, we don't get anywhere near the calls we used to get from the teacher. I said, you still think he's ADHD? Well, if he is, we can manage it. We can handle it. It's not really interfering with his schoolwork anymore. He's not anywhere near as defiant. You know the number one thing you have to deal with a kid who has been diagnosed ADHD, who because of it manifests behavior problems? As a parent, you got to be more consistent. You got to be more follow-through. You got to be more supervisory. You got to be more confident. You got to be calmer. You got to do stuff that if this child, by his wiring, is more impulsive or more inattentive, then you have to be a little better in your discipline. Don't have to do it so much with his sister. She's compliant. I got to go. Thank you for joining me here in Washington, D.C. I hope to see you tonight at the taping. Walk with God and pay attention to Him.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.